You can't learn a new language just by trial and error, nor by just reading a book. You have to jump into the water and learn to swim in the language. And the same is true for learning to play Go. So have no fear, Swim is here to help you learn to swim. Here, Swim is trying to figure out whether, in descending to H18, White is behaving like a bully or a donkey. A donkey is a player who stubbornly sticks to his plan regardless of any change in his environment. A bully is a player who thinks he can get away with murder because he thinks his opponent is a donkey. Many bullies are donkeys, and some donkeys are bullies. So the distinction is a subtle one. A subspecies of the genera is the twit, who is a donkey who thinks he is a bully. Swim begins by drawing the color map. The color map circumscribes clusters, but there is one circumstance when a link between subclusters is obviously insecure, and that is one which is peeped at by an enemy. Peeps are shown here in red. Until it reads it out, Swim cannot know whether a peep can succeed or not. So to be on the safe side, it treats the two sides of a peep as if they were separate clusters. This is important, because it impacts the assessment of obvious life or death, which affects the strength of the shadow cast by a cluster, which I will get to in a moment. A cluster which has two eyes or a single eye big enough to make two against any opposition is obviously alive. Here, obviously alive clusters are marked by the letter A. A cluster which isn't alive and is fully surrounded by alive or strong enemy clusters is obviously dead. A cluster which isn't obviously alive or obviously dead is either weak or strong. This depends on its dangosity, which Swim defines as the ratio of its stone count to the number of its color-controlled empty points. A cluster of dangosity less than 0.5 has an efficient Sabaki shape, so it is strong. Here, the black O3 cluster has 3 stones and 4 color-controlled points, so it is strong. But the same can't be said for its neighbor at Q3, which also has 3 stones but no color-controlled points. A cluster of dangosity greater than a half has a heavy Korigatachi shape, so it is weak. Or all the unmarked clusters are weak, including the black one at P16. Its 5 stones are weak because they only control 2 empty points. It only has half an eye. It's not quite dead because black could connect it to the alive cluster of R17. But we don't yet know whether it's worth blacks while doing that, as it's only worth about 19 points. And at this stage of the game, Centate is worth more than that, no matter what Bill says. Now we come to the new shadow map algorithm, which I'm here simulating by hand, because GoMap has the old version. Dead clusters don't cast any shadow. Intuitively, the thicker a cluster, the stronger and longer is its shadow. Swim approximates this intuition. Let's compare the positions before and after White's move. It has changed the situation in the rectangle bounded by E19 to L18, but it has no impact below the 17th line. It saves the 2 white stones at H17, but those are only worth about 12 points. Saving H17 doesn't affect the weak link between G14 and K14, which black needs to reinforce anyway. So it's a gote-yossi move. The game is a long way from Yozad, and as we have already seen, cutting at Q17 is a bigger gote-yossi move. Let's ask Swim its opinion.
Black controls 20 points on the left, 2 on the bottom, 5 on the lower right, and 6 in the top right, for a total of 33. White controls 14 points in the upper left, 5 in the right upper, 2 in the center right, 2 bottom right, and 10 bottom left, for a total of 38 plus Komi.
So white has a comfortable lead in prospective territory, but black has more shadow in the center. So the center is more important than saving a couple of stones on the top side. So why didn't white aim at the center? What was he trying to achieve by saving H17? What was he thinking? Was he thinking at all? Was he just trying to save a couple of stones? Or just trying to kill something? White's descent reminds me of one that played against Fine Art. There's no ambiguity about this move. It's clearly an attempt to divide and conquer. But to me, it looks reckless beyond belief. I was astonished that a world champion could play such a dumbass-looking move. Amateurs at my lowly level often muck about like this, playing insane moves just to see what will happen. But doesn't play just for fun. It's his livelihood and reputation on the line. Perhaps he was experimenting to see if he could stretch Fine Art. Or maybe he was miffed at having to take a 2-stone handicap. Either way, this is what happened.
And quite apart from what one hears, I've been like this for years and years, you see. I'm bored with Mother Nature or her son. I'm bored with everything that should be done. And so I just poke out my big red tongue and I'm bored.
I'm tired of art.
Drawing board.
Sex is a drag!
In a boarding house, I dare say.
Waiting for me!
You mean the airport originals, damn troll?
I'm bored to death!
Like mortar board.
I am bored, 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 I am bored.
This is boredom you can afford by Silly.old.Sisyphus. I hate each Julie Andrews film they've made. I'm just a nasty, narrow-minded jade. Don't think that I will smile at it. I'm not a weak-willed hypocrite, I'll say. I'm bored. I'm bored with it men and spotted ties who hum tiresome tune like Edelweiss. I'm bored, but when I hear it in a trice, I shout, I'm bored. The only thing that ever interests me is me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it clearly is. I mean, just because Trump's saying it doesn't mean it's not true.
No, exactly.
I mean, it clearly... what I find annoying is that it's all about, Trump and Republicans and Democrats. But what this is really revealing is an out-of-control FBI and, an unbelievably pliant media. Yourself excluded, and a few others.
Well, the mass media is in full. I mean, it's like it's the What did Wilde say about fox hunting? The unspeakable in full pursuit of the uneatable. That's how I feel about the media in this case, and indeed in most cases.
Yeah, I think it's. It's acting like a branch of the FBI,
Yes.
and the FBI is not, doing what it's supposed to do.
And you have now a conflation of the neocon right and the liberals and much of the left.
Yeah, I think some neocons have gone absolutely that way, and they're insane. And what you've got is sort of liberal interventionists plus neocons. And, on many issues, you can't put a sheet of paper between them.
No, and that was true here in the Blair era, wasn't it?